In LA this week, California's governor signs incentives worth hundreds of millions of dollars aimed at keeping TV and film crews from leaving our state.
Over $500 million worth of improvements coming to LAX's busiest terminal. That's according to last year's numbers. City leaders promising more jobs and a more pleasing passenger experience. I'm Gil Reyes with the story next.
A new app puts Mother Nature and technology in the palm of your hand. I'm Yana Kay. The details next.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. It's official. Governor Jerry Brown puts his signature on a deal to boost film and TV tax credits statewide, and he did it with Tinseltown flair, signing the document at a historic Hollywood landmark. Gil Reyes was there.
In true Hollywood fashion, in front of TCL Chinese Theater, Governor Brown signs legislation aimed at bringing film and television jobs back where they belong.
Thank you, Hollywood. Thank you, California. Yes, we are back and we are on the move.
The governor approving tax incentives that supporters predict will bring back 80 to 100,000 jobs in the entertainment industry within the decade. Recently, these jobs have left California for better tax breaks elsewhere.
We're sending a message worldwide. No more jobs in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, or elsewhere. Back home in California, baby. Back home.
The deal reserves $330 million annually for film and TV tax credits here in Hollywood and the rest of California for the next 5 years, more than tripling the previous amount. The tax credits go into effect in July.
This is about the men and women who lay the cable, who get the props, who have the costumes, who make sure the lighting is right.
Workers who've spent much of the last decade living thousands of miles away from their families to find work.
I have missed ball games, birthdays, school events, and the nurturing of my children.
And are now eager to return home to their kids, LA, and the Golden State.
This will make so many more people believe that they too will soon be able to count themselves among the lucky ones.
I had the good fortune of authoring California's first film and television production tax incentive when I was a member of the Assembly back in 2009, and we know that it works.
This is good for California, good for families.
I couldn't be happier. It's a great day.
In an industry that likes happy endings. In Hollywood, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
And speaking of creating new jobs, the LAX Bradley Terminal makeover is doing that and more. It's putting people to work, but the terminal's $500 million facelift will also help speed up long lines both in and out of the building. Gil Reyes filed this report from the airport.
No complaints from traveler Lois Mann about flying with Southwest Airlines. She says fares are affordable, plus her 2 checked bags. They always fly free. So what's the problem?
I would say the traffic getting here.
Yes, the traffic. And not just on the 405 and surrounding streets, but once you're in the airport, especially near the first and busiest terminal, Terminal 1, home to Southwest Airlines.
Every single person who comes into this airport gets stuck in the gridlock in front of this terminal. That is going to change when this project is done.
Airport Area Councilman Mike Bonin and company break ground on a $508 million makeover for Terminal 1. This means moving Southwest Airlines' main entrance and ticketing lobby further west, down the terminal. This shift is expected to streamline the flow of passenger drop-offs and pickups outside.
I've said that we're going to put the recession in the rearview mirror, and we're doing it.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti says construction will create 1,500 jobs. When it's finished, the new Terminal 1 will boast larger waiting areas, more windows for natural light, new restaurants, and bigger restrooms. Last but not least, more lanes will be added at security checkpoints for faster flow to departure gates.
Eric Garcetti is reshaping the city, and you got to reshape this airport so people will love it.
Thank you. We know you guys are going to do a fabulous job.
Officials at Southwest Airlines tell me that travelers should not expect increased traffic flow in and around the terminal as a direct result of construction. That's because most of it is set to take place during non-peak hours. Construction is set to be completed in 2018. At LAX, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
In recent years, the city has invested over $7 billion in LAX. One of the goals is to remodel every terminal and create tens of thousands of new construction jobs. The use of drones by law enforcement continues to be a hot-button issue for citizens as well as government officials, but a state bill could just be the answer privacy advocates are looking for. Yana Kay reports.
No drones in LA! Demonstrators at this recent rally at LA's City Hall are protesting the use of drones by the LAPD, which recently acquired the technology but has yet to use it. Protesters say the drones could be used to spy on unsuspecting citizens and infringe on their privacy. But a new state bill could calm those fears. State and city officials recently announced that they're calling on Governor Jerry Brown to sign Assembly Bill 1327, the Drone Privacy Protection Act of 2014. The legislation is designed to protect the privacy of Californians from the new technology of unmanned aerial systems, commonly known as drones.
The bill provides for other common sense protections and transparency requirements, such as prohibiting the weaponization of drones and requiring a reasonable public notice before a public agency is capable of utilizing or deploying a drone.
The bill aims to protect civil liberties and privacy rights by establishing restrictions on the use of drones.
The role of government is above all to serve and protect the people it represents, and we can't do this without trust and transparency.
The bill defines how government agencies would be able to use drones, including getting a warrant to use one, except during emergency situations. The bill would also limit how long data can be stored and shared.
The right to privacy and the right to be presented with a warrant if one is suspected of wrongdoing is obviously something that we cherish and value as Americans. However, this bill protects these freedoms while also allowing law enforcement to utilize this technology to keep our communities safe.
AB 1327 is expected to become a national model for drone privacy, as the Federal Aviation Administration is required to begin integrating drones into the airspace as early as 2015. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
AB 1327 passed the California legislature this August. Some area homeless kids and foster children now have a new place to call home. Anna Marcos takes us to the ribbon cutting for the Los Angeles Youth Network's new facility.
This house will soon be home sweet home to young people who may never have had a real home. About 300 homeless and foster youth each year from ages 12 to 18 will get to stay here, some for a month or less, some longer.
They were removed from their homes because of some form of abuse, whether it be sexual, physical, mental, or emotional, or they were forced out of their house because of their sexual orientation.
The Los Angeles Youth Network held a ribbon cutting to celebrate the newly renovated house, which will replace its current building, an Army barrack-style dormitory. Here, the kids will get private rooms, 2 or 3 to a room, tutoring, academic counseling, mental health and art therapy, and job development will be among the perks, along with lots of TLC.
As they are restoring this lovely, graceful old home, they're also restoring lives.
The Los Angeles Youth Network is the only group that offers residential care to homeless young people in Hollywood. LA has about 10,000 homeless youth, most of them on Hollywood streets.
Every person matters, that every life is valuable.
It's a place where those with few chances can succeed. Some of the youth have gone on to USC and UCLA on scholarships. Some, like Javon Wilkes, are now giving back and dedicating their lives to working with youth.
No matter if they were homeless, if they were abused, if they had drugs in their system and been in the foster care their whole life, like myself, they can succeed.
Right now, some more furniture and paint are needed, but come early October, the young people will be moving in to call this place home. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The mental health center at the new home will be named after LA County Supervisor Zev Yaroslavsky for all his work helping homeless youth over the years. He will be retiring from his supervisor post in a few months. The anti-gang program known as Summer Night Lights releases its newest crime stats for summer 2014. Gil Reyes reports from one recreation center that experienced a big turnaround over the past year.
Kids at East Hollywood's Lemon Grove Park say goodbye to summer with this musical finale from the movie Grease. It's a Hollywood-style happy ending, especially when you consider recent crime stats.
In the first part of the summer, in this park, we cut crime by 100%. We didn't have a single incident compared to last year and in the surrounding block or 2 area. That means this is a safe place to be for the summer.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti shares results from the latest Summer Night Lights program. It kept city parks open after hours with fun activities for young people, keeping them off the streets and out of trouble during the 3-month break from school. Results are in for the first 7 weeks at all participating parks. Gang-related crime down more than 15% from last year and reduced by 44% since 2007.
It's a very family-oriented park. It's not like it used to be like 20 years ago.
This park, like all parks, is your park. This park should be the center of community.
Summer Night Lights may be done for the season, but park activities continue.
And they're signing up for our basketball programs, our soccer programs, our dance programs, our fitness programs, and they're using their local parks.
For safe and supervised fun for young people throughout the year. In East Hollywood, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
This summer, 32 city parks participated, and between late June and early September, they served up some 33,000 free meals. Children who need to see a doctor will soon have another option as a new children's health center breaks ground on the west side. Yana Kay has more.
Patty Vargas knew something wasn't right with her son Gabriel. Several emergency rooms and doctors later, she still didn't have any answers until she went to the Venice Family Clinic.
In the emergency room, there's a lot of people waiting. You don't get the same treatment. You think because it's an emergency room, they're going to get treated well and on time. But no, here at the clinic, the Dr. Anika Russell was really good, took her time to check him, and automatically she knew. And she even gave me the option of what emergency room to take him, and they just treat you wonderful, like family.
Turns out Gabriel suffered from a rare disease called Kawasaki syndrome that affects the immune system. He was able to get treatment, and today the family is grateful.
Because they helped me.
The Venice Family Clinic is now expanding services so it could help even more underserved children on the west side. A new children's health center will soon be taking shape in Del Rey, located at 4700 Inglewood Boulevard. Officials recently broke ground on the new facility, which executives say will be the first pediatric clinic on the west side.
You will see a kid who doesn't have a twinkle in his or her eye get that twinkle. A young girl get a smile on her face because she's feeling better. A kid who can go to school because they're healthier.
The new clinic will provide medical, dental, vision, and mental care for an estimated 4,000 children each year.
Where doctors, dentists, social workers, nurses, parents, and children can consult together to ensure that our children are healthy and happy.
Because of the Affordable Health Care Act, officials say 65% of Venice Family Clinic patients now have health insurance, and they hope the new clinic will address the health needs of all underserved children in the community. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
Hockey's richest prize returns to downtown. The Stanley Cup, won this year by our own world champion, LA Kings, makes a stop at City Hall for snapshots and selfies with faithful fans. Gil Reyes shows us.
Look at the camera.
Fans made the pilgrimage on a recent weekday to snap photos with hockey's holy grail.
Because it's the Stanley Cup, it's the most prestigious award in all of sports. There's no other award like it.
3 months after the LA Kings won the Stanley Cup at nearby Staples Center, the actual 35-pound World Championship trophy returned to downtown, this time for photo ops with city workers and their families. Council members Paul Koretz and Tom LaBonge among the first in line.
It's here in City Hall, a more beautiful building we couldn't find anywhere in America for the most beautiful cup anywhere in the world.
And it's been all over the world throughout its 120-year history, traveling some 300 days a year for hundreds of events, according to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Back in June, the Cup even appeared on Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel, where Mayor Garcetti sipped margarita from the chalice to celebrate LA's win. He also collected on a bet. Garcetti's friend, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, forced to sing I Love LA after de Blasio's New York Rangers lost in double overtime. Ouch. It was all in good fun, though.
We really appreciate the role that the Kings have played in making Los Angeles a championship city.
A city that's also camera ready when the Cup's in town. At City Hall, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The Stanley Cup also stopped by the LA Children's Hospital during its whirlwind tour of the city. Hiking just got a lot more fun thanks to a new interactive nature app that puts learning in the palm of your hand. Yana Kay reports.
The Wachter family is about to hit the hiking trail at Griffith Park, but before they do, they're downloading a new app called Agents of Nature.
I think it's great. Just listen to it, and we like hiking, and I think it's a great interactive choice for children to learn about nature.
The Agents of Nature app is an interactive game that connects technology and the great outdoors, adding an extra layer of adventure to the hiking experience to help kids get excited.
They were tired before and not anymore.
City officials and Verizon representatives announced the launch of the new app at Griffith Park.
This is a fantastic way of getting children to come out and really experience a natural, outdoor, healthy lifestyle that they could take on for the rest of their lives.
Now, the app is free to download, and once you do, it is very easy to use. For example, once you get inside the app, you'll see a map of Griffith Park pop up, and you'll also see a whole bunch of flags. Click on one of those flags, hit view, and a question pops up. It says, see the jade plant on the trail? It is not a native plant. Native means, and you have 4 options of answers. If you get it right, you move on to the next step. Each site has hidden challenges, and hikers have to use hints and clues from their surroundings to solve the riddles.
I think it's awesome. It's like a scavenger hunt. Taught you about the trees and the plants and the animals here.
Educators say the app helps expand learning opportunities in more ways than one.
It's not the teacher basically providing information, but it's them through exploration and games in a fun outdoor environment that really, it's a benefit.
It's really going to empower young people in the ways to find nature and the history and the facts behind nature here in Griffith Park.
A new hiking experience that officials hope will get everyone moving outdoors. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
And by the way, the app works on all iOS and Android devices. Well, we all know how hot it got the week of September 15th, with some 1,000 people losing power due to record high demand straining the grid. LADWP took to Twitter to share information and to keep customers informed. That's in our This Week in Tweets. In one tweet posted on September 16th, the LADWP reported all-time energy demand record set yesterday was shattered today. Peak demand today, 6396 megawatts. Yesterday was 6196 megawatts. And you see the red line from September 16th just hovering above the green line representing the power demand from the day before. On the same night, the LADWP retweeted this tweet by ABC7 reporter Alex Mickelson, showing LADWP crews working in Encino, where around 1,000 people were without power for a second straight hot night. The LADWP also tweeted some tips on energy conservation. Best way to save energy, set AC to 78, postpone laundry till after 6 p.m., and shut off pool pumps will help reduce strain on neighborhood grid. The LADWP also shared this piece of information, that infrastructure investment in recent years helped the utility weather the heat storm. In 2006, 900 transformers failed during the heat wave. As of last week, the LADWP reported only 50 transformers failed. The downtown area has seen a total makeover in the last few years, and now Pershing Square is next up for a facelift. Councilmember Jose Huizar has big plans for the park, and now new funds have come in. Anna Marcos has more.
Pershing Square often lies empty and unused, except during special events like the park's summer concert series or this weekly farmers market. Much of the park is surrounded by walls. There's a lot of concrete with few walkways or places to sit. Features which some say were originally aimed at discouraging the homeless but which seemed to discourage everyone.
It should be family friendly. It should have grass where you could lay down on the grass with your girlfriend, with your family members, under the shade of a big oak tree.
But Councilmember Jose Huizar's Pershing Square Renew plan aims to turn this patch of green into a true town square.
Every great city has a town square, and we have not used Pershing Square to its potential.
If you circle around, you'll see that Los Angeles was built around this park, right? And this is the original place where people could gather, where civic dialogue could be engaged.
Huizar has asked for help from city developers, architects, and merchants to help reimagine and redesign Pershing Square. One developer, McFarland Partners, has now stepped up with $1 million in seed money for the project.
Pershing Square Renew is all about, it's a symbol for the larger transformation and renewal that we're seeing in downtown Los Angeles.
And there is more money on the way.
The improvements could take years, but there are also plans for the short term. The city has acquired a $1 million grant it will use to build a playground here. Groundbreaking could happen sometime in the early spring.
The project should be completed in 2020. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
And Broadway downtown, also in Councilman Huizar's district, gets a new, more pedestrian-friendly look. City leaders calling for a change in policy to allow gay men to donate blood, and utility boxes in one harbor community get a sprucing up. These stories in City Beat. Councilman Jose Huizar helped celebrate the completion of Phase 1 of the Broadway Streetscape Master Plan, which includes reducing a traffic lane to create larger pedestrian space along the historic Broadway corridor in downtown LA. The plan is part of the councilman's revitalization initiative called Bringing Back Broadway.
We wanted to extend the sidewalks, put more trees and planters and tables and chairs and umbrellas so people could really feel like they're in a plaza type environment. We took 4 lanes. Now we have 3 lanes. It is the largest road diet in the history of the city of LA.
This phase is referred to as a dress rehearsal since temporary materials such as oversized planters will be replaced with permanent building materials later on. The new pedestrian plaza will span 10 city blocks in the heart of downtown. Council members Mitch O'Farrell and Mike Bonin have introduced a resolution calling for an end to the federal policy that prohibits gay men from donating blood at donation drives, adding Los Angeles to the list of major cities to take a position on the controversial federal policy. The resolution has the support of the American Red Cross and the Los Angeles LGBT Center. The current Federal Food and Drug Administration policy was first established in 1983 when the FDA had no way of testing blood or plasma for HIV. But the American Medical Association, which also opposes the decades-long ban, says the FDA policy is not based on sound science. Instead, it recommends that each donor be evaluated on an individual basis. First, the utility boxes in Boyle Heights got their makeover. Now the ones in Wilmington are also getting a similar treatment. Councilman Joe Buscaino participated in a bike ride through Wilmington on a recent Saturday, during which the newly painted utility art boxes were unveiled.
We're taking ownership through art of our utility art project. There's one right here.
The walk and ride, led by the group I Heart Wilmington, made its way down Avalon Boulevard, finishing at Banning Park, where hundreds then enjoyed the return of the Wilmington family picnic. It's known as El Grito de Dolores, that cry by Mexican peasants that called for freedom from their Spanish conquerors. Now, centuries later, not only Mexicans but Angelenos celebrate that victory call. Ana Marcos takes us to the steps of City Hall for the party.
With that shout and a ringing of the bell, LA kicked off its El Grito celebration. The Mexican holiday, celebrated by Latinos and Angelenos, honors Mexico's independence from Spain more than 200 years ago. But El Grito also means different things to different people.
I think it means like a yell of celebration for independence.
Well, El Grito is an opportunity for Los Angeles to celebrate its rich heritage. Like myself, son of Mexican immigrants.
It's great to celebrate the independence of Mexico here in the city of Los Angeles. After all, we have the second most Mexicans, only second to Mexico City.
We all can relate to the struggles for liberation.
The mariachis sang and strutted their stuff. The audience danced and waved flags. And what's a Latin celebration without the crowning of a queen or two? But while Mexicans may have won their independence, here in the U.S., many Latinos face a different kind of struggle. For Councilmember Gil Cedillo, it's all about lobbying for immigration reform.
There's new issues and new struggles that are part of this tradition. Today we're concerned about driver's license for immigrants, and the city's doing a great job in creating the infrastructure to prepare people to be licensed, tested, and insured. We have an open heart and open arms for the young people who are at the border. We are concerned about their constitutional rights.
For Latinos, the end of one struggle celebrated, even as another kicks into high gear. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
In this week's list of things to do, a walk at the Silver Lake Reservoir, a celebration of cultural diversity at the zoo, and Noah's Ark. The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power is inviting you to join LADWP officials for an informative 3.5-mile walk around the Silver Lake Ivanhoe Reservoir Complex on Saturday, September 27th, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. The event will highlight the history of the facility, LADWP's water infrastructure, and the importance of water quality and water conservation in Los Angeles. Park on the street and enter at the gate located across from 2141 West Silver Lake Drive. Wear sturdy closed-toe shoes, hats, sunscreen, and bring water bottles and snacks. No bikes allowed. And to protect water quality, no dogs or other animals are allowed on the reservoir perimeter. The Los Angeles Zoo will be hosting a Hispanic Heritage Celebration on Saturday and Sunday, September 27th and 28th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on both days. The event will celebrate Central and South America by highlighting the diversity of cultures and animals that hail from those regions. Activities include crafts, live musical performances, and of course, the animals themselves entertaining visitors. The event is free with paid zoo admission or zoo membership. The zoo is located at 5333 Zoo Drive. Go to lazoo.org. And if you haven't taken your child to the Skirball Noah's Ark permanent exhibit, run, don't walk. The exhibit, 5 years in the making and occupying an 8,000 square foot gallery, is inspired by the ancient flood story, which has parallels in diverse cultures around the world. Kids and adults can climb and explore the exhibit, help construct the ark, and mingle with hundreds of handcrafted animals made from recycled materials. This one-of-a-kind new destination invites visitors of all generations to have fun while learning the value of community. The Skirball Cultural Center is located at 2701 North Sepulveda Boulevard. Go to skirball.org for ticket information and other details. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. A reminder that you could catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.